So in today's Warthunder video, we're going to be covering something that we normally never do, which is covering a leak before it is actually credible and also before it is actually proven to be legitimately coming to Warthunder. And that leak is the Leopard 284 is coming for Singapore as a squadron vehicle for China. Yes, I know that it sounds insane to me, and then also at the same time, I think it's a topic that we need to talk about, even if this leak is completely fake, because it has been affecting Warthunder for a very long time now. And what this problem has been is that Gaijin has kept introducing vehicles to other nations, which are from other nations, which means that whenever you play Warthunder, you can go play pretty much any nation now and find a Sherman within it. You can find F-16s within it. You can find Leopard 2s in it, Leopard 1s even. And the big question around it is why is there even a reason anymore, or starting to become not a reason more, of playing other nations other than just one or two, because those two nations will have majority of the vehicles within the game to have all of the different experience for Warthunder, which I think is incredibly sad because each nation has something very special about them. But whenever you're front loading a bunch of these nations with the exact same vehicle from other nations, you're completely taking away what makes each nation unique to actually play the game. And let's just talk about the Leopard 284. If they added one to China, it would be a battle rating 10.7. If we take the other nations' vehicles, like the Leopard 284s, they're all 10.7 right now. So what is the reason of why you would play this vehicle? It doesn't have a lineup. It would be the only 10.7 within the Chinese tech tree, and it literally would make no sense to have. The same premise goes for majority of the sub-nations which have been added to Warthunder lately. I've been a really big component of, I don't believe there should be any more tech trees within Warthunder, just because like it's almost impossible for everyone to play everything within the game. And if you introduce a nation as a sub-tree, you'll have people who already play the existing tree, which will actually go play those vehicles instead of having another Israel where barely anyone even plays the nation, which I think is incredibly important to have. Like, you have people actually wanting to play these vehicles, and a sub-tree does that very well. The only problem about it is that the South African sub-tree was an amazing sub-tree to have within the game. It actually helped Britain out a ton whenever it comes to some of the lineups. And also, a big component of this is that they actually had unique vehicles that were added to the tech tree, which made it actually worthwhile going down the sub-tree itself. Now, fast forward to whenever Finland was added into the game, and we basically seen a bunch of just copy-paste vehicles. You go look at the Finnish sub-tree for Sweden, they have Leopard 284s, they have Leopard 286s, they have vehicles like the T-54s, they have vehicles like T-34-85s, a bunch of vehicles that are already existing within the game. And one of the big reasons people didn't want to play China back in the day was because it was just straight up copy-paste. So Finland is basically straight up copy-paste. Why would I want to go play that sub-tree to have any new experiences? Like, the only new experience that you can obtain within that sub-tree is playing vehicles like the T-55M or playing a vehicle like the Vickers Marquis. Those are the only two unique vehicles within that whole entire sub-tree. Other than that, you can go find every single one of those vehicles within another tech tree, whether it be Russia, whether it be Germany with the Leopard 286 and Leopard 284, even Germany with the T-72. Like, all these vehicles are basically the exact same from other nations, which doesn't make it unique enough to actually play, which is an incredibly big issue happening with Warthunder right now. The sad thing about it is that Gaijin introduced this new thing called new nation bonuses, which were supposed to be for grinding out new nations whenever you reach top tier within a given tree. Now, the thing about it is that this whole thing was supposed to actually promote people to go try out other tech trees, because Gaijin even knows it themselves that people normally just stick to one or two tech trees, and that's it. That's all that they play. They won't go like try out China. They won't go try out Israel. They won't go try out Sweden. So they were trying to incentivize people to actually go do that. Did they do that correctly? No, because now you don't have an incentivized reason to go do it, because they keep adding vehicles which are the exact same you can find within other tech trees. So why would you ever want to go grind out another tech tree whenever you can find that same exact vehicle like a Leopard 287 within the Italian tech tree? Like, why would you want to go grind Italy after you completely did Germany? Like, that's the big problem with this whole entire thing, is that instead of it's incentivizing it through RP gains, it should be also incentivized through vehicle type and vehicles that are actually unique through those tech trees, which sadly just isn't the case. And now we get to a problem that actually affects people who grind out majority of the tech trees within the game, which is that whenever you're playing your fourth Leopard 284, what's your incentive to actually keep spading those vehicles over and over and over? Like, you can go play another one which you already have spaded, which will be 1,000 times better because, well, you don't start out with stock heat FS, you also have a better APFSDS, and you also start out with your mobility being completely better. So what is the actual reason to go to another tech tree to spade another Leopard 284 whenever you have others within other tech trees which probably also have better lineups? Like, what's the reason? Like, there's none at all. And you don't get any bonuses, like you don't get any discounts because you spaded other Leopard 284s. You still have to go through the exact same grind again after again after again. It's the same thing with Magaks. Like if you ever played Israel, there's so many 8.7 and 9.3 Magaks within a game that all play the pretty much exact same. There's only very minor differences with them. It's maybe an engine upgrade, maybe a little bit more composite armor or something, but other than that, they basically play the exact same. And it's the same thing that happens with a bunch of these vehicles that we currently have right now, of where, yeah, you can go play another tech tree. You can get up to in the tech tree where you start seeing these Leopard 2A4s, Leopard 2A6s, and it's like, well, I don't get any discount to do this. I don't get anything special for doing this either. I don't get any like cool like calling cards, or I don't get any cool avatars or something like that. So what is the reason to play them? There's absolutely none, especially vehicles which are copy paste, like the BTR for Italy, which is just not even in a lineup. It's at 7.3. Italy doesn't even have a single 7.3 within the game. So the only thing that you can do with that vehicle is that you can up tier it to 7.7, or you get it up to your 7.0s, which honestly is probably not that great to do anyway. And then even if you look at the Italian tech tree, your 7.7 is an M47, and that's it. So you have to put the BTR 88 all the way up to 8.0 if you really wanted to play that thing with a lineup, which just sucks. And it really does suck talking about it in that sort of way. And I really hope that Gaijin does something to do this. Like I don't think it's an extremely bad issue if there's copy paste vehicles where they're needed. Like if you have a lineup which only has like 1 or 2 vehicles and a Leopard 2A4 would help it, sure, fair enough, do it. But whenever I look at these vehicles which are being added, and it's like a Leopard 2A4 for a squadron vehicle for China does not even have a 10.7 vehicle. Like in their tech tree, they have a 10.3, which why would you want to up to your 10.3s to 10.7? Because they would just be better at playing at 10.3, and then you jump all the way to 11.0 now. Like there's absolutely pretty much no reason to have a Leopard 2A4 within that tech tree. And then you just give it as a squadron vehicle, so that means everyone is going to unlock it, have no lineup, and everyone plays squadron vehicles like top tier premiums where they just basically have no lineup because it's a vehicle that you can get very quickly from just being within a squadron, or you can just pay for it. So it's pretty much a top tier premium. And now we're on to the part of the video where I think it's time to actually come up with some solutions, because I don't think it's actually worth going over this if we're not going to try to fix the problem. And I feel like one of the better solutions to actually introduce right now is because like can't just randomly just take out these vehicles which are already here. The best solution to actually do this is whenever you spade a vehicle which has contemporaries within other tech trees, whenever you play that tech tree vehicle, like let's just use the Leopard 2A4 for an example. If you spade the one within the German tree and then you go over to Sweden and you spade the Finnish one, spading the Finnish one should automatically just be easier to do, whether it be having a permanent RP bonus for it, whether it be just having like discounted modules for it as well. Like both of those two things would definitely help out doing these exact same vehicles through all of the tech trees. It goes for every vehicle, but Gaijin would have to actually introduce some sort of system to track this, which I believe could be an easy one with just using the collection system. If you don't know what the collection system is, it's currently what we have now to track the decals and also the stuff that you get cosmetic wise to actually give you another cosmetic. So what you could do is you could put all of the Leopard 2A4s within the collections, and each one that you get spaded and you finish out, it lights up, and then you have that one done, and then it gives you like a permanent like 10% bonus to another Leopard 2A4 that you want to play. And then if you do another one, you get 20%, another one you get 30%, another one 40%, and the more vehicles it has, the faster it will take to actually spade these vehicles out again, which I think would be an incredibly good system to have, because well, you're playing the exact same vehicle just in another tech tree, and if you're able to get through it very quickly, the grind itself will not be as bad, and then you can go over to other vehicles which are actually more unique and actually have a better experience playing that tech tree, because not everyone's going to have a top tier premium. Not everyone's going to have premiums to just skip these vehicles, and whenever you get to a vehicle like the Leopard 2A4, you might have to play through it just because it's a vehicle that you need to actually progress through the tech tree. So it's not just like you can skip them. Like yes, you could if you had a premium or something, but at the same time you might have to play it, and if you're able to get more RP from playing that vehicle, I think it would be an incredibly good thing. And then also, once you get these vehicles completely done, like let's just say, like I'm not sure how many Leopard 2A4s are in the game now. I think it's like 5 if you count like STRV121, but let's just say that you get 5 of them spaded out. You now get a title which shows that you've done all of the Leopard 2A4s in the game, and also you get like a calling card, or you get like a new avatar or something that you're actually able to display to people, showing that you've went through the grind of that. So you have a reason to actually go do it after that. Now I know some people don't really care about the cosmetic items and stuff like that, but it's just a nice little touch to have, showing that you actually did something that most people probably won't be able to do within the game because, well, they don't play out the tech trees. So yeah, I feel like that's going to be like the best solution to this sort of issue. I really hope Gaijin actually doesn't do this Leopard 2A4 for China, because it literally makes no sense. Like I understand a lot of people want to see their flags within the game. They want to see like Poland, they want to see Yugoslavia, they want to see a lot of vehicles, but the problem with them is that you have a lot of copy paste, which people are just not interested in. And fair enough if you want to see your flag, if you want to see a Polish flag on a T-72 or something, or like a Leopard 2 or something like that, fair enough. Like, I think that's fair. But the thing about it is that like you already have different ways to get your own nation within the game. You have user skins, you have the marketplace right now, which has skins only that you can pay like 10 cents even for some of the nation skins. You also have events, which Warthunder has been doing lately, like the Turkish event and then also the Brazilian event, which was actually pretty cool, where you're able to get skins for free for some of the premium. And then also, I feel like it's just better to do it in that sort of way than add in a vehicle that is just copy paste because you want to see your flag on a vehicle. Now, I completely understand. I'm American. Like, I have all of the vehicles that my nation currently could ever have, right? I completely understand that. If you want to take that as my bias for it, sure, but I play pretty much all the nations in the game. I don't really have a main nation that I ever go to, and I feel like it's going to be way better to have good experiences throughout the whole entire game instead of just worrying about one nation having a certain flag or having a certain vehicle with their flag on it. You can already do different things to get that sort of same effect while also helping out a bunch of people within the game that just don't care to play the same vehicle over and over and over. So yeah, what do you guys think about this? I think it's going to be an interesting time within Warthunder because it's been an issue that's been pretty much like slowly creeping up over the years, where we've seen different tech trees, different sub trees, and all that sort of stuff added into game. I'm really more keen on seeing more unique vehicles come to the game than I am seeing copy paste, and hopefully with this new major update we actually have something like that. So hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next Warthunder video.